with your host, DJ, and his good friend, Skunky.
Skunky's not going to be around much anymore.
Pepe Le Pew.
From Erie Zone Government Access, Channel 9, from the City Hall Council Chambers, it's time once again for the Taxpayers Hotline Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host.
What was that? Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Hey, this year, City Controller Kaz Kotowski and his great friend,
DJ Barker.
how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How about yourself, sir?
Not bad.
The holidays treating you well?
Yes, they were, yep.
Yeah, they were.
That's right, I haven't seen you well, you were here last
I
week.
was here last week, but I didn't say much.
No, you'll be, we have to say more today.
Okay, I'll say something.
Well, we dodged the weather, that's for sure.
We did. We definitely did.
It's good to see Pittsburgh get crapped on a little bit. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller. Oop,
They
I
hung
lost
up
him.
instantly. Wow.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah, they got hit with the biggie.
Yeah,
I was laughing. I was in Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
They had a hint of snow. A hint. You know, it was somewhere over the Great Lakes. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, they hung up already. It's going to be one of those days.
No, it can't be. Nobody's out of school today. It's got to be a problem. Hope no, we're not doing nothing wrong.
No, I mean, all we do is hit that, right? Or
Yep.
that.
No, right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, they were terrified, you know, ready to close down the schools. There were reporters all over the area covering the great onslaught.
Oh, sure, sure. Wow.
Then I heard, you know, contrary to, I heard some pretty good reports on the first snow removal, so
Yeah.
I heard they did. You want to try it? You see if you
I'll
got.
give this a try. Hello?
Go ahead, caller.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Was that
Good
you that
afternoon.
called before?
Oh, I just got in and came in and saw you were on.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here.
Oh, I've got a couple of things I'd like to discuss with you.
Go ahead, be my guest.
First of all, I was watching some of the budget session last week. Don't you know, or you probably know, but you do not figure out how to get revenue when you have a budget you're going to be approving or sending back to the mayor, which I doubt that will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But why did Mr. Jones bring up parking and other revenues? That was supposed to be brought up last year, right after you completed the budget.
I think, well, sometimes they were asking questions about.
Yeah, but
Go ahead, I'll let you finish. Go ahead, John.
that's like when you're closing the door after the horses left the barn.
Well, they are making plans for new revenue. But,
Yes, I'm sure.
well, I think you have to because realistically, a lot of the things over the years have not been looked at.
That's true. That's what I've been yelling at for how long?
And I think, you know, I think they were looking at this budget, asking questions about, you know, why there was like.
The 14% increase in sewer fees
What?
for just the city taxpayers and not the outlying area?
Not only that, but they're looking at last year's totals and seeing like what has happened. Like we're finding out that the municipalities outside of Erie are doing a better job cleaning up their act, so we're not getting the water coming through the system now.
That's right. They're cleaning up the act, and the whole thing here is, but they're foreseeing how to draw revenue and not just backdoor taxes, service charges.
Mm-hmm.
Just like they were talking about the parking meters. Well, if our parking meters were up to date, you wouldn't have anything to worry about.
What do you mean up to date? You mean style-wise?
Well, you go to a hotel room, you have a key to slide in, and they know who's going into what room, whatever.
I just saw some new meters in Bethlehem, PA.
They had the cards, right?
Oh, they had everything. They even had you take your smartphone and you press it up against the meter,
Yes.
and it reads your smartphone.
Right.
I'm not sure how it works. You may have to like
They're
probably download cash into
all
it.
that goes to.
Yeah, it's it's weird that other the new technologies, we saw it when we were at the League of Cities. The big thing is going to be, the authority would have to finance that, that would be some they maybe think of in certain areas,
Well, yeah, you have a mainframe. You go in when you go to check out. You put your card in. It knows how long you parked and where you parked, and you're charged accordingly.
Yep.
Well, Erie, we're always the last.
Well, our meters are actually some of the better ones at one time, but now...
Data is as far as being electronically, but they're still 20 years behind.
Yeah, well, some of the inner mechanisms, I was looking at them the other day, because I used to build them when I was younger.
Wow.
And they're nowhere...
Machines.
They're all all electric now. I mean, electronics like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I built slot machines when I was young.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I had to calibrate parking meters. We had to sit there with like a pile of coins
Yep.
and flick them until you got them set right, because there's a balance to them. If the springs get weak,
The same thing with slot machines.
yep, yeah, the springs get weak, they lose their tension.
You know how we stop from jackpots coming?
How's that?
Put a peg in one of the holes.
Really?
So, like, 3 sevens would come up.
Yeah.
The player would see, like, 3 possible sevens. Then it would slip down, and you wouldn't have the jackpot.
It's like those old pinball machines. Remember how they used to?
The Bally pinball machine?
They changed the weight on it.
Yeah.
They bring it up or down so that how you bumped it.
Yeah, for tilting.
Yeah, it's like a thing goes down like this. See?
I was efficient on one of those things.
Yeah, we were all pretty good, right?
That's true.
You had that wrist, right, John?
Yeah, we sure were. One other quick thing, and I'll let somebody else come in here. Now, we were talking about authorities last week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who's on the convention authority from City Council?
I had that list upstairs.
I think it's Mirsky.
Oh, you mean the councilman that's on that committee?
Yes.
I believe it's Bobby Mirsky, yes.
Now, isn't that a conflict of interest?
Well, he's a liaison. He doesn't have a vote.
There's still a conflict of interest.
Mm,
Mother-in-law sits on the convention authority board. True?
yeah.
That's a conflict of interest. As far as I'm concerned, he should resign from the board and not let somebody else be there. But that stuff you'll have to iron out here.
So,
as
John,
you,
are you in favor, if we do need revenue, are you in favor of increasing taxes or increasing the service fees?
I mean, look, the service fees that the mayor has set for the council to approve next week is $3.2 million. If I still owned my home, I'd be furious, because I'm still furious anyways, that I would not be able to declare that on my income tax.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
I mean, come on. And cut other places. Don't put backdoor taxes in. There's all kinds of ways to get it. I've been yelling to license the people who are snow plowing in the city of Erie that don't live in the city of Erie, the lawn services that are cutting grass in the city of Erie and don't live in the city of Erie. They're getting all that revenue from the people in there. Pay the $250 license or whatever. Remember when the junk haulers had to have their licenses?
You're right.
They had like a little bicycle plate on the side of their thing.
Yep, we're not allowed to do that no more.
But you can still charge a service fee for the license for those cutting grass in the town. They're blocking up the roads.
Well, that I think, there doesn't seem to be a, how do you say, an appetite to do that?
There's never an appetite.
No, I'm not against it, because you know what? I think, we license a lot of other things.
That's true.
So, I mean, these, especially they're not all bad, but I know Mark got in trouble, but a lot of those snowplowers come in here.
And they're destroying the
They cause us a lot of grief.
medials. They're plowing snow out there.
I think they need to, if for no other reason than, to get a license to plow here, they need to obey the rules, which would have to be like in a book form,
To be able to track who's doing what and where.
Yeah, like you don't drag snow out to the street,
Right.
They just put $55 million in Upper P Street for curbs and sidewalks and all that. I was by there after the snowstorm. Guess what?
What?
One sidewalk wasn't plowed. or cleaned off.
None of them were, right?
All the way up, right. I mean, there's $55 million going to be wasted.
Yeah, you know, it's just,
It's just,
it's a different world, too. I mean, I can remember when I was a kid, the merchants would be out there with shovels, hiring kids, or they're doing it themselves, even after the snowplows went through.
I used to shovel driveways for $2 a driveway.
Well, we all did. You know, I remember doing Hunters Inn years ago, you know.
You went in and had a beer.
No, I was too young, but we would go up there and we'd pick, like, these places on West 26th Street.
And they want you to come back.
Yeah, you know, because, you know, and even, I remember even along Peach Street here in Erie, a lot of the people like Ballway Jewelers and all them, they went out there and shoveled in the morning, or had one of their employees do it, because they didn't want people slipping, you know.
No.
But today, you know, you go up to the mall or anything, nobody cleans nothing.
The snow plowers plow it right up in the corners and leave it lay there.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, they plow where, they put it up in there too, right on the sidewalk.
They just keep stacking it and stacking it.
I remember
You know, this deal with jump subjects one more than I'm getting off. With CATV, that's a disgrace.
Well, we're going to find out. Tonight, we'll tell a lot of things, and we'll see, you know.
Well, you've got 7 bobbleheads down there, and they're all going to bobble. And I've got your bobblehead in here, and I'm slapping it now, along with the Cleveland Browns.
I don't even want to think. Boy, don't go into that, John. That was bad last night.
But, you know, cable TV is a fantastic deal. If they have to go out and solicit...
Oh, you mean Cat TV?
They do a great job. They're teaching kids out there and everything else. It's a dirty shame once the mayor got his hooks into that.
I saw a real interesting article this week in, I think, Saturday's paper.
About cable TV access?
Yeah, it was written by a gentleman, John Johnson.
Yeah.
I think he's tied in probably with, you know, some...
It's a shame because that money should go to them.
Well, a lot of the churches, the shut-ins, we do a program on, when I do the radio show at Gannon, they do they play, the Church of the Covenant plays about
They have quite a bit on, right?
yeah, they have an hour mass on there, and, you know, a lot of shut-ins, they watch that because
Well,
that's their only world, you know.
so they covered the downtown Erie, they covered the parade, they covered everything else, and the mayor wants to take this away? Can't believe it.
Yeah, we do Celebrate Erie. We never charge anyone for that. We just do it and we put it out there.
Tall ships, the whole shot. And, you know, you're a worthy organization. There's a lot of people out there. And I guess if you'll have to get on the computer list and send all the Democrats and Republicans a little cards like all the politicians do for a little donation. $1 here, $1 there, you know, you might be surprised.
Well, in the city, it would come out to about $2 a resident, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody could give up a cup of coffee.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping for good things tonight. We have a lot of smart people on the council, and I think they see how important we are.
We have a lot of blind people on the councils. They've got their blinders on. I've only seen 2 that I know of who are looking forward towards you, and I won't say their names, but one's a tall fellow, about 6'8". And, but other than that, have a great day, have a great holiday. My operation came through pretty good, Kaz.
Oh, thank you. I mean,
Hold of my head yet, but the
good
doctor will take the stitches out Wednesday.
well, at least you and your wife are in both good shape now.
Okay.
I have to come up and, you know,
Yeah.
when you get the buckle out for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm going to get the Bocciago loop.
Ooh,
Have a good one.
watch a galoop, that's an inside joke.
I don't know. But I'm looking forward to tonight because I think that there are some people that want to go to bat for us, and everybody understands how important CATV is. There are a lot of shut-ins, there are a lot of people that watch and use our services, and I think that I'm hoping they'll make the right decision and fund us at least for another year.
Hold on 1 second, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, if we could get the funding just for one more year, that would give us time to work ourselves off of city money, and then we could find alternate means to fund ourselves. But we just need a little bit more time.
Go ahead, caller.
Is the city going to do anything about collecting delinquent
Oh, yeah, we're limited as to what we can do right now under the present system. I do know that the present council, and I can speak for myself when I get on there, I'll be in favor of it too. Trying to find a different way of doing it, because the way it's handled now, you can't really do much to anybody that doesn't pay their garbage. I mean, you have to pick up their garbage, so
Can't they stop garbage pickup?
no, you're not allowed to by state law. If they did that, let's say your neighbor left it out there and we didn't pick it up, you don't want to live next door to that, right?
Right.
So it's a health issue, and
Would be too difficult to police that because people who didn't pay would probably put their garbage in front of the people who did pay.
yeah, they'd find a way or just leave it somewhere in the, boulevards or, the problem is that
It'd be too difficult for the garbage pickup people to be reading house numbers.
I know there are some different things being looked at, and
In the meantime, the people like us who do pay are being penalized $36 a year.
right.
People who don't pay.
Yeah, we got to find a way. I know council said they instructed administration that they want something, there's a number of things they want to look at, plus they're going to look at how other communities do it, see if there's something out there somebody else is doing that, because we lean to property. After that, I mean, right now, we're exploring what can we do past putting a lien on there.
Oh, and the lien only takes effect if the landowner sells their property. Is that the only time that the lien?
Well, you can't sell that house. Like, if you were to dispose of your property and there's a lien on it, you have to take care of that. So at that point, we get it. But a lot of these properties, like was pointed out, are rentals. And the rentals, you may have a tenant that leaves, but the landlord still owns the building. So you may never get the money out of a rental.
Unless the landowner tries to sell.
Right. If he does, then we got an in, unless he goes bankrupt and belly up, and then, like some of these properties are ending up abandoned. Yeah, it's not a good, we looked at the numbers, and some of that is current, it's not real old yet. It's just kind of like current bills haven't been paid. But at least $1.5 million of that is old money that, is growing slowly. So yes, it is a problem.
And in the meantime, the people who do pay their garbage, have to pay that extra $36 next year.
Yeah,
Pay for those who aren't paying.
that's the bad part. And
I do hope that council figures out a way to keep CATV on the air.
well, I think if they're listening, they're probably hearing this. I think, I'm not sure anybody understands the impact on the community, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
It's hard because we don't have numbers. We can't tell how many people are actually watching, but we know that everybody we run into, everybody that comes through our door tells us how much they like the fact that we're there.
I hear you got, some really outlandish programs, but you know what?
Yeah.
That may be true, but there is a lot of mainstream programming, a lot of these churches and groups that, like the Grays and all that,
Oh, yeah, the Amazing
they
Grace.
talk to the elderly and,
Yeah. Yeah, it's senior programming by seniors for seniors, and if we do have to close, that's just gone.
Yes, most of the programming is good. It just seems that the administration is trying to censor to get rid of the few bad programs that come on real late at night and wipe out the entire channel where most of the programming is really good.
Yeah, if that was the case, I would think that those on council would be able to come to us. They could come to me certainly and tell me that there's a problem, and we will work on that problem. I am not against doing what it takes to make sure we survive.
I never heard anything about, there was an issue with,
Yeah, we've had a couple of shows in the past, but I can talk to those producers, and they will be good. And then everything will be fine. We just have to communicate. It's open communication.
Well, I hope they do refund and give you the funds that you've had in the past.
Yeah, so do we. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah, watch on TV tonight, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
That's going to be on
6:30, yep,
6:30 Channel 9, they'll be live.
the budget sessions.
Yep.
right.
And was there no council meetings this month?
We had our, let's see, we get 2 a month, and we should have met, let's see, I was gone to one.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, we're done at the 8th, well, the 18th is the next one, so.
Wasn't there one last Wednesday?
The 4th, right, we have one more on the 18th.
I mean, why wasn't there a council meeting last Wednesday?
Well, we meet every other week.
Every other week.
I mean, there wasn't one the first Wednesday of December?
Yeah, that's the
There
4th.
was one on the 4th.
There was? Is
Yep.
it being shown?
Yeah, they re-air them, and I think I actually caught that on TV the other day.
Yeah, there was one on the 4th, there'll be another one on the 18th. Those are day meetings during the winter months.
Yeah.
And if you ever run into a 5-week month, it's still only 2 a month.
Well, I'll have to look for that then. It should be on at 7 p.m. tonight, shouldn't it?
Right, I think they re-air them the same time it would be live, so it should be 7 p.m. every day.
Oh, it won't be on because of the budget session.
Except for the
being
budget, yes, because of the budget session.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be televised tonight.
But if you have internet access, the city of Erie has a YouTube channel.
Right.
And they're all uploaded to that channel. You can watch them whenever you like.
Do you have a computer?
shown. No, I don't.
If you can get a hold of one, you can go on, like DJ said, go on the city website,
Yeah.
and they have all the council meetings, they even have Taxpayer Hotline on there.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Hey, thank you for
Thanks
calling.
for calling.
Well, you have a lot of supporters out there.
I hope so. I mean, I have positive feelings because I know that they see
think-
the importance.
Well, maybe nobody knows what's going to happen, you know.
Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody knows anything.
No, I mean, you know, maybe they're really not, they're thinking that this will, you know, maybe they don't know the ramifications.
My question for you is, with the new agreement, I'm sure you've looked over it, does it not look in that new agreement like the city's going to be making a lot more money from Time Warner? Or are they still going to be making the same amount of money from Time Warner?
I think they expect to get a little bit more back.
Yeah, so.
But you know, I didn't read all of it yet.
Right.
It's quite lengthy.
There
I will
should
tell
be
you
some
this, though.
leeway in there. Yeah,
Cable TV, as a rule, I was reading an interesting article in the Philadelphia paper.
Mhm.
They are actually, what they call cable TV is losing customers.
yeah,
Satellite is losing less customers,
right,
but like Time Warner and Comcast, they're losing more.
yeah.
And people are finding alternative methods, you know, to get their entertainment.
Yes, the curse of the internet.
Well, I think the problem is, you know, like, you're not available on satellite.
Not on satellite, but we are available on the web, so at least people can see our channel from our website. But yeah,
I mean, a lot of people now are looking at cable as, you know, quite expensive. And, you know,
it doesn't help that they keep jacking up the rates
Well, like,
all
you know,
the time.
I mean, I'm one of those few people who still like soccer matches, but
Yeah,
they got me mad, you know. I bought this digital sports package.
right,
They put all these nice sport channels on there,
Mhm.
and they had the soccer channel, you know.
right.
Well, NBC bought the soccer channel.
Mm,
Not bought it, but they bought the rights to the soccer I watch.
right,
So now, they don't have all the games on. They have like replays or like, you know, highlights.
yeah,
Not like the other channel was real nice, you know. Now,
right.
you can get the other games on a channel they call NBC Extra something. Of course, that's not available on Time Warner.
Sure.
Time Warner's always late in getting them. You know, look how long before we got the NFL channel.
Yeah,
I think if they really want to save cable, like cable doesn't have the NFL the games and all that.
Right,
So satellite wins out there.
yeah.
But, and then for a while, you couldn't get your local channels on satellite. Now you can.
Yeah, the networks you can get, supposedly. I don't know, I don't have satellite.
I think people today, they expect a little different TV coverage. The things they want to watch are specific to their little world.
Right. The internet's making it a lot easier to get just what you want, and then you don't want to watch a channel that's got a bunch of stuff on it you don't want to watch.
Yeah.
So, they say TV is dying, but I don't see TV dying. It's changing.
Well, when I was a little dude, radio was the king.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And, now they got satellite radio, which tries,
Yeah.
because, they got rid of DJs and now they got automated music.
Right.
Yeah, people today are a lot different than when, they want it now, they want it specific.
We've grown up in a society where it's instant everything, and if someone doesn't reply to you right away, or if you don't get what you want, instantly, you're done with it.
Yeah, so I think, it's not hard to imagine that. I was reading some of the things that are disappearing. They're talking about cameras will disappear as we know it,
Really?
to a large degree. How many people you see outside of the serious people really buy like a point-and-shoot camera today?
Yeah, you don't see that.
Nope, they pull out their cell phone. There you have it. So, could TV be gone? Not right away, but I think,
Yeah.
It
doesn't have to be. Sure, we're a TV channel, and a lot of our equipment's outdated and whatnot, but we're trying very hard to change with the times. We're offering internet services and different things that our members can come in and they can put their stuff on YouTube, and I teach people how to do that stuff now. So we're kind of changing with the times to try to keep up with the times.
Yeah, you can have your own TV show now. That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
You could
exactly.
never have done that in the old days.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, trying to put your own talk show up on there?
Yeah, I can't imagine that at all. But some people say that it's going away and that everything's going to be on YouTube and you can just put your stuff on YouTube. But there's a difference between shooting CAS with this and using cameras and having
yeah.
production values. Having someone like Mike sitting in the control room and pushing the buttons and making sure it gets done right and having skillful use of the equipment. There's a difference between a phone and actually doing a show. People have to understand that. Sure, you can put your crap out there on YouTube, but if there's no production value, nobody's going to watch it. And that's what we teach. We teach people how to have production value.
Yeah, with a good portable camera, you can,
Yeah.
not these cell phones, but a good camera.
Yeah, running a camera is not just running a camera. There's a skill.
You could do concerts in some of the establishments here.
Sure. Yeah. So let's just hope that things go well.
You can cover the local wrestlers or...
Yeah. Well, we do, 3 or 4 events right now, and we'd pick up more events if we had the ability. We do Knockout Homelessness, which is put on by the city mission.
Oh, you do that one?
Yeah, we do not. We don't show, we don't go out live, but we tape it, we give them a copy, and we put it on the channel, and then copies are available for people that want them. We just celebrate Erie, Knockout Homelessness, Blues and Jazz, and Roar on the Shore. And these are all things that if we were to charge for the services that we're giving, it would be in the thousands of dollars.
What would happen if you did charge them? Would they rebel?
I don't know. I don't know who we would charge and how we would do that. We can't charge for Celebrate Erie because we're essentially a part of the city. So we're not going to charge for Celebrate Erie, but if we're not going to have the money, what do we do? How are we going to do that festival when we have 3 staff members and we're not going to be able to pay one of them? So I don't know. I don't know how you do that because essentially...
I told you, I was surprised with the day of the Big Perry Parade.
Yeah.
The bicentennial parade.
Yeah, you told me. up and down the street, in
People
all the
had their
bars,
TVs turned
all
on.
the businesses, people had their TVs on, they were watching it live on TV. That's important, that's really valuable. But, don't get me started.
So you're getting ready for the holidays, right?
Holidays are gone, man. Christmas started 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's right. We're into Valentine's Day.
Happy
I think-
Valentine's Day.
Kind of quiet out there. We need some phone callers. What do you think?
We could definitely use some phone calls, because I feel like I was just ranting there for a moment.
Well, you were a little bit, but that's okay.
I think that's the most I've talked all year.
Yeah, if the budget sessions do anything,
Yeah.
they certainly make people aware, you know.
Oh, sure, yeah. I myself was not aware of some of the problems that they have and the details that go into planning something. So I've been sitting there watching the budget meetings, learning a little bit about it.
Well, your cities like Erie are hard pressed now. We're into some difficult times.
Yeah, it seems everyone is.
Well, you got changing demographics, people, you know, living all over the place. Some communities do well, some aren't. But
Right.
it's one of those battles, you know, that no council wants to raise taxes, so, you know, they look at the fees.
Yeah.
But
I got nothing.
did you make light up here? I didn't. I was out.
I was out of town last weekend, this weekend, whatever.
The only thing I caught was a cold.
That's going around.
Yep.
It's definitely going around.
But, yeah, I see a few properties were sold. It'd be interesting what goes into them. The bank at 18th and State, that,
Ooh, really?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking of where that, yeah, they're sold.
We'll see what goes in there.
Wow. Do you know who they were sold to? No?
We'll have to wait and see, but be interesting, you know, what we got to do in Erie, we have to get more, that's what's going to help us long-term is to either get people to move back into the city
Right.
or get businesses to come back in. We have to grow the economy, otherwise we are, you know, going to keep looking at the taxpayers, and that's never good.
Yeah. Well, I think the city could use a good marketing tool, perhaps a TV station.
Well, you know, that's one thing I don't think, I mean, I don't think we sometimes market like we should, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, caller.
Did I hear CJ say we need a marketing tool?
What do you got? What kind of tool you got?
I thought we had one called the Chamber that does nothing.
Well, they've changed. They got like 2 or 3 splinter groups now that are doing that too.
Yeah, that's true, but I heard you mention 18th and State. I didn't know that it was sold, the building.
Yeah, the old bank building.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I know the one up at Eckerd's is going to be a Dollar General.
Yeah, I heard that today, just a little while ago.
What are they going to do with the one on 24th Street then? 24th and State.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean, oh, yeah, that's right.
Well,
Is that a Dollar General, 24th and State?
I'm pretty sure it is.
You know, the way they're building them, it'd probably keep them both.
Well, if they get the demand and...
I mean, Dollar General seems to be a growing, what do you call it?
They've got quite a few franchises across the country.
Yeah, that Dollar General, and what's the other one? Dollar Tree?
One's a Dollar Tree, Dollar General. I get them all confused.
I do too. Then you find out that one is not really a dollar.
No, that's Dollar General. I hear that all the time. My wife always likes to go to the Dollar Tree to buy that dollar junk. I guess it can't be junk. She's buying it.
Well, you know what? It's what do they call it? One man's treasure?
Is another man's junk?
Yeah.
True, but I I want something, I look for quality in it, I pay the price, I know it's going to last. You don't use it for 5 seconds or 10 minutes and it's broke.
Yeah.
Just like everything else. But
No, I was thinking, what we don't do,
we don't buy American.
I think there's more advertising done by Nick Scott and Paul Nelson than there is by our so-called,
Chamber?
all those groups,
Or I forget what they're called, where they're getting the bed money from the bed tax?
whatever it is. But
Put it in the brochures and everything else?
I was amazed. I turned on the radio once, and that Cleveland station that's got 50,000 watts, WTM, goes all the way down to West Virginia, and if at night when the atmosphere is good
Yeah.
and the weather holds up, you can get it here. And there they are advertising Splash Lagoon. I'm going, wow, Then I was down south of Pittsburgh, and I'm in an elevator at this hospital, and I'm looking on the wall, and they're advertising Paul Nelson's Waldemere Park.
Oh, yes. You see it all the way down
Yeah.
there. You see it at Kennywood, Geauga Lake. You're seeing all that. But up here, they're taking all that money, and they're saying they're putting the advertising out. I've yet to see any.
Well, have you ever come from Maryland into Pennsylvania?
No.
Well, when you come in around Breezewood, there's this huge rest stop, welcome to Pennsylvania. I always look in there when I was there. You know what's lacking in that whole thing?
One of those racks?
These are the state racks now, right?
Yeah.
At least I think they are, unless they subcontract those too, but I'm looking on there and they got Amish country, they got Philadelphia, they got Pittsburgh, they got the Poconos.
Yeah.
I don't see anything from Erie.
Well, they probably have that out in Northeast. They used to have it down on I-79.
Well, that's okay, but how about trying it across the state?
In fact, I used to get all kinds of cookbooks in those. I knew a couple of the people that took care of them places, and they'd save me the up-to-date cookbooks. But, yeah, there's a lot to be desired, especially with our chamber and with people on the boards, those highfalutin salaries, and what are they doing?
I read a book, not a book, I was reading the paper in Buffalo one day and told how Buffalo, there were 2 projects that impressed me. One was trying to get Southwest Air to come into into Buffalo.
Yeah.
And the process they went through, and it was like all undercover stuff, Southwest guards their sites carefully.
Yeah.
And, but they approached Southwest. And then there was another one about how the city actually approached a movie theater, one of these chains, and said, how about coming down into the inner city? Downtown now. When's the last time you've seen a movie house, outside New York City or Chicago, coming into a downtown area, right?
That's true. Last one I saw was the Region.
But you know what? You got to kind of, I think we got to start being proactive and going after and find out.
Well, that's true. Well, the convention center in Buffalo folded, didn't they?
You mean Niagara Falls?
No, the convention center. They had a convention center like we have down here in Erie.
They got one in Niagara Falls, I think. I'm not sure about Buffalo.
Well, Buffalo's folded, I guess.
They probably too close to Niagara Falls. That's
where John Oliver came from. He used to be the head of the convention authority down there.
Well, the guy we had in Erie for a while, he's in Lancaster.
Who, Jake Rao?
What was his name?
Jake Rao?
No, I don't think that was it.
Well, I used to call him Jake Roach because he never did anything for the good of the community.
He's got
He six-figure salary.
He walked in down there where they do a lot. Lancaster does a lot of promotion.
Well, Lancaster does, Reading does. All those places down there do a lot.
Well, yeah.
Their police department gets involved with all kinds of charity drives, working at the Red Lobster or TGI Fridays. They donate their time, and they serve people, they take contributions, and they give it to well organizations out there.
They even have in Lancaster, they got a horse.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm serious. The horse sits there with a policeman on top.
You see that in Portchester, too.
He's like a goodwill ambassador.
I was in Portchester, the horse knew my Parker meter was expired.
No.
Serious.
Your DJ's talking about state-of-the-art. No, not DJ. It was Well, you were talking about it, John.
Well, I was in Portchester, and I was at a Parker meter. I went in to get something in the store, and the horse was walking up the street with his police officer, and he stopped where my meter was expired. And he saw what was a rental car, and I came out, and he said, I was just about to write you a ticket. I said, how'd you know? He said, the horse. I'm serious. The horse saw the red flag up. Of course, they're colorblind, but he saw the flag up and he stopped. Oh. And that's not baloney.
I can buy that. I can believe that.
Have a great day.
You too.
Only John can come up with that.
Hey, did you take a swing by, what was it, 613 East 10th or something? I got to check. I left myself a note. That Bill called last week and mentioned garbage piling up.
Ooh, we did go by there.
610 West 13th, I think it was. It was West 13th Street, so.
I went, actually, I know I did that. We went upstairs and talked to the gentleman that cited them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go, I should go up there again, because when I came back, that was like right after the show Monday. They were getting ready to take some action against them, so I think I'll take a little walk upstairs after the show and see what they did.
Yeah, it'll be good to know.
But they were putting them through the process.
Yeah. Well, that should make Bill happy.
What makes them happy is if the owner cleans it up.
Yeah, exactly.
I was told the owner was gonna clean up, so.
Yeah.
If not, the city was going after them. We'll find out.
Yeah.
But, yeah, garbage is, that's another thing.
Yeah.
That's why you really can't. Now, that's
You
not
do.
garbage, that's
Well,
trash, but
That's
still.
yeah, but what? I just don't understand why we can't do something. I mean,
It's
why does
like
it take so long?
It's like a lot of things, that building up on 12th Street with the collapsing roof.
Yeah.
We'll wait till it collapses within.
Hopefully, it doesn't hurt somebody.
Go ahead, caller.
Hey, I missed part of the program. What is the expected raise in the garbage fee expected?
Oh. Percentage-wise or money-wise?
Oh, money-wise, because right now it's like $48 every 3 months or so.
Let me, you know what, I'll go, after you cut off, I'll go check with the city clerk and see what they got proposed on there.
Yeah. You know, I'm 40.
I missed a couple of the first meetings, that's what.
Yeah. You know, I'm 44, so I don't, my memory of, taxes and water and sewer bills only go back maybe about 20 or so years when I, started living on my own.
Right.
I listened to some of the older folks, and they said, well, years ago, your water, your sewer, your trash, that was all taken care of just through your regular property and income tax. Is that true?
Yes, it was.
So
It was in what they called it, when you talk about the property and income tax, you're talking about the general budget.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, at one time, I think, I can't speak for the water. I know the garbage was in there. But,
I don't know if it would be cheaper to do it that way, but it would certainly be more efficient. You wouldn't have to be worrying about these bills coming in every 3 months. You just do
Well,
everything when you paid your taxes.
what happened years ago, when the city was raising taxes, they came to a point where they couldn't raise them no more. Legally, they were at the millage level. You can only go so high. That's why, if reassessment is done properly, then, every so many years you reset the tax base. But what happened in the old days, they didn't do reassessment, and the city had to go to court every year to raise the millage because they were past the legal limit. So I think it was under Joyce Savacchio, they took the garbage out of the general budget and put it into what they call an enterprise fund. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens there, now we actually, we actually make money off that by, the revenue comes in from when you pay your bills, and then it's handled, that's a separate budget altogether. But, there is some talk about putting it back in the general budget.
Yeah, I would just think, the only way it might be possibly cheaper is that, you have like another clerk or someone to pay to be there and to take that fee. It'd all be taken care of during the taxes. I mean, it may be cheaper that way. I don't know. It just, as a consumer, it would simply be more convenient.
I think in the old days, if I remember right, and I'd have to get Mr. Clement here or somebody, they used to, I believe the water department was over there on 7th or 8th and French, what is now the Union Hall, and they used to have their own, like, clerks that collected the money, and, they billed out from there, and a lot of the bills here were generated by the treasurer's office or, so what they did, they farmed that out to the water authority now.
I hate paying the bills down there at the water authority because if you try to get back out onto the Bayfront Highway at times, you're stuck there for a long time.
Well,
it was a bad location, at least for customers.
Back when they were looking to cut the budgets and stuff, that's what they eliminated some jobs, and the authority put a bid in for it, that they could do it better than we could.
I have another question, okay? I own my house here. If I would happen to move out of town and rent it out to somebody,
Right.
Are you saying that even if I tell the tenants they're responsible for the garbage bill, if they don't pay it, that comes back on a lien on my property?
Yeah, because I think you're the property owner.
Uh-huh.
You're the owner of record, and I believe I haven't read the exact ordinance, but the way it was explained at the last meeting, that was the understanding that it's the property owner, not the tenants.
Yeah. In a way, that doesn't sound right because it's the tenant who's actually using the service. Mm-hmm. I think there should be a way of going after the tenant, not the property owner.
Well, the problem you get into, though, is you got a lot of, I'm not blaming you now, because you may be a single, but there are a lot of landlords here that own numerous properties that always go, it's not my fault, it's the tenant's fault. And, they're renting them out to, I'll show you differently, like, the problem with the college students is because they're renting them out and they don't want to take the blame. With the other way, they're, if the tenants aren't paying the garbage bill, they're throwing their hands up in the air. But ultimately, if you live next door to one of those properties, you don't care about all that,
Right.
All you know is that, and when you look at it, you're still the owner of record, But, you may be a good landlord, you may check up on it. But a lot of these landlords live out of town and do a little lip service to, that's what, we're into a new world of what I call the big landlords that own too many properties.
Well, I know, like in the neighborhood where I live in, I'd say in my neighborhood, there's only maybe a handful of us that actually are owner-occupied. Mm-hmm. The rest of the houses are all owned by this one particular family, and so my neighborhood is now mostly rentals. And not that I want to talk bad about people who rent, but there's a certain percentage of renters who know they're only here temporarily, and they don't really care that much.
Yeah, I think when you had, people talk about you probably remember, when you said that key word, owner occupied, Now that's a big difference. Like when I first got married and I was renting a property, my landlord lived in the same house. And then he bought a house across the street, but he was still there.
Right.
He wasn't like one of these guys that owned 10, 15. And, he made a little income, but, if I didn't cut my grass and if I wasn't real diligent, he was all over me, But, I did it, it's a different world today, though. People don't feel obligated to mow the lawn or, do the little things.
All right, well, you guys have a good day.
I'll try to find that answer for you, but yeah, that's right now. That's I do believe, and I'll double check that the landlord is under this present ordinance responsible for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can catch him real quick.
Okay. Oh, no.
We may have to do it next week. Go ahead, caller.
$7 a quarter for the garbage,
Oh, you got the answer.
$9 a quarter for the sewer.
Hey, John, you go back a little more than me. So it's $7 for the garbage, right?
Right, that takes up to 55,
And 9 for the sewer.
and 9 for the sewer. That I forget what the rate of the billing fee is for the sewer, but the sewer comes out to like 14%, and I don't know what. I didn't figure out what the garbage comes out to.
Some of the councilmen want to raise it a little bit every year. I'm not against that because I think,
Well, when it would
'Cause you get
be
whammed every-
such a hard deal, but the whole thing here is, why doesn't the city handle that themselves? We bought all that machinery to do that. She sends out all the tax bills out, or Berkmeyer does.
yeah.
Why don't he just do the billing too? He's right in there.
Hey, John, that last guy that called up, going back, now, I remember the garbage was part of the general budget, okay?
I'm listening.
Was the water department part of the general, or was that separate?
No, that was a separate deal.
Even back then, right?
Right. In fact, the whole thing here is all of it, the previous mayors used to take all the money out of the water fund to balance their budgets,
Well, they all did, all of them, yeah.
but they were robbing Peter to pay Paul and hoping to catch up on the end.
But the water and sewers were always separate, right?
They were always, no, they were together.
Okay, but they were, I mean, separate from the tax bill.
Right.
Now, they operated out of, what wasn't it, French Street?
Yeah, 7th and French, right across from the old Moose Club.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought, you know, it was in fact, if you go in that building, you can still see the cashier windows.
Right up the street from the old Boys Club.
Yeah, it's now the Union Hall.
Yes, it is. That was a great building they gave away there, too.
Yeah, I found out the controller's office used to be upstairs.
It's true, and in fact, they give away the library because it was going to fall down and the courthouse comes in. Oh, what can we say? We're giving everything away.
Yeah, you know what, I hope that answered that last guy's question, but... yeah,
It should. You know, the whole thing here is they should make whoever owns the building responsible, and they should charge their tenants accordingly.
I'm going to report the next time we do the show, but I'm absolutely almost positive that the way it is now, the landlord is responsible.
That's true, and just like convention center, when they have all these big conventions and they're not charging the people coming in, the vendor should be paying a city license to go in there.
See, I don't think council ever asks a lot of these questions,
Well, no, they don't, because they're all pacified.
and, you know, I think a lot of people didn't understand a lot of this stuff.
That's true. Well, you have a fifth floor full of attorneys that are supposed to know everything.
Why, I've been for years advocating, there's a lot of little things that, for instance, you know, there's a lot of people coming here that do work in the city.
Sure, they should pay.
They're not paying their income tax.
That's right. The Philharmonic, the ball players don't. You know, not that you want them to, but if they're making money and working in the city of Erie, they should pay.
Here's my question. You know, people say, well, why would you know, they do, you don't want to hurt them, do this and that, but you know what? If your kid or your grandkid right now goes to University of Pitt, Duquesne, any place, Cleveland State, okay, John?
Okay.
They get a job there, you know, working their way through school, okay?
Yes,
Now, they're going to pay a tax to that community.
that's correct.
Okay, and we're going to approach that community just like, you know, Mill Creek approaches us and everybody else.
And ask for the money.
Right. And so I'm saying, you know, fine, if these contractors that are not local guys, that make, you know, money coming in here, if they don't do their due diligence, we get to keep it, okay?
True.
If they do, we still get to keep the .0018, that percentage that we have above. That does not have to be returned to the community.
That's what has to happen. True.
That helps our pension plan. It's little things like that, and I think I kind of applaud council that they're finally waking up to, you know, that, you know, there's a lot of, when they pass that 3% tax, it's kind of like there's a lot of loopholes in there that, you know, not everybody's paying that should be.
True, and I think the students coming in should have to pay a tax.
Yeah, and it's like that parking tax. You know, there's a lot of places. Mercier's playing a little game up there on Pine Avenue. That might be.
They've been playing that game for 10 years now. And, you know, Filippi had a good idea of assessing every student that is in the city of Erie.
Yes, he did, and there was no app. But I remember the vote. The council was like petrified to at that time to do anything.
It was a good deal.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? When I went to Gannon, I got feed to death. I had a student fee, a book fee, an athletic fee, that sponsored the, even if you didn't play athletics, you're paying for the programs.
Sure you are.
So, I mean, so you get another fee. What the.
Yeah, look at the used bookstore. They're darn near, you're better off buying a brand new book instead of buying a used one.
Yep.
The whole thing here, the whole thing here, that downtown area is becoming nothing but a Gannon College University campus.
Well, there was an old joke that Hammond and Vincent will shake hands with Gannon.
Yep. And now Lecom too.
Yeah, we're getting,
I know it.
At least Erie Insurance, they pay their taxes,
Right, they do a good thing there. And the two hospitals do, but I guess, what is it? Vincent's looking in to get away from that.
Vincent or Hammett?
It's one of them. Maybe it's Hammett.
Well,
On the program.
probably because UPMC, we have I don't like to talk about it, but we have a better deal
With Hammett.
than Pittsburgh has.
Oh, yes.
And their mayor was
Rosenthal, isn't it?
Ravenstall, right? He was just,
Yeah.
well, I think he's the ex-mayor now, but
Yeah, he's the ex-mayor.
he was like, wow, you get that much out of your nonprofits? The ones that got the pilot.
Well, I'm going to donate $100 and tell them I wanted nothing to go anywhere but in the fund for winemaking.
Well, you know what? That was brought up to here. Here was when we were talking with. There was a governor candidate in Erie the other day, and he was talking about how a lot of people don't even realize there's a wine industry in Pennsylvania. Not even Pennsylvanians.
Oh boy!
No, I mean, and don't. That's not funny, John. Because.
Was that the mayor? And oh, you mean the governor?
Well, the guy that's running for governor.
Pulaski or?
Pavlovsky, yeah.
I get all kinds of emails from him.
And he was saying that there are people, and I've heard this comment, that, there are a lot of little wineries in everybody's community now.
That's true. Mass is going to start making whiskey from wine.
Yeah, but you know what? Nobody realizes sometimes on the other side of the state how big the wine industry is in Erie County. We're not talking about like one local winery like some of these places got.
There's about 13 of them out there.
And if you include the region in New York State,
Yep.
I mean, this is like Californians don't want to, they'll never admit that, we pose any kind of challenge to them.
Our wine is better.
Where?
Here.
Yeah, Napa Valley claims theirs is better, but, like my daughter brought some of that ice wine up to Minnesota, and some of our products, and the people went nuts with it.
Well, I make ice wine all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And the Commonwealth has to realize that, for our community, winemaking is huge.
It's a huge community deal.
Yep, and we ought to do all we can do. That could be a little economic growth.
Yes, it could be a great deal. So,
What's that mean, 1 minute? What?
1 minute.
Yeah, he comes over here and he gives me the 1 minute sound.
Probably giving you the 1 minute for the last 5.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
He's a good guy, though.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Yeah,
Yep.
wine is huge.
Yeah. Not a wine drinker. I tried like 13 different varieties, and I just can't
Yeah, John's
physically
right.
take it.
There's a little place in New York that's going to be making whiskey now.
No, yeah?
Well, when we had a brewery in Erie, Kohler, that was huge.
Yeah?
Man,
Yeah.
amount of jobs that was, but what are you going to do? Those days are, well, hey, you know what? We can see you next week.
More than likely.
Okay, if I don't, I'm still going to wish you a Merry Christmas just in case.
Merry Christmas.
But I think we'll see you.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, caller. You may be the last one.
Yeah, hey, Kaz, for that caller that was 41 years old,
Yeah.
complaining about his garbage bill, I remember back in the times when the garbage man used to come in your backyard, take your garbage cans out, empty them, and bring your garbage cans back in.
I remember that too.
And like you said, now you're getting less service and paying more money.
I remember.
And you are right about that part. Is the landowner is responsible for the garbage?
I was surprised when I was a little kid. When you talking about they used to pick up the garbage.
Yeah.
They
have them open air trucks. They just come, throw the can right in there, bring your can back into your backyard, and put the cover back on.
I remember we were mad when they changed that rule,
I know.
because all the guys now, we want to be playing baseball in there, and, your father tell you, put the garbage out to the curb. So you had to go in the back, haul it. So you got your buddy to help you. Those guys must have been in good shape, because some of those cans were packed pretty good.
Oh, yeah, well, like you said, you ever see them people that are hoppers on the garbage trucks today?
Yeah.
They look like they're 12 years old.
It's a young man's game, though, but they work hard.
Oh, yeah, like I said, there's times where, well, like I said, I'm an old senior citizen, and I got to drag my garbage can down the driveway and everything else and put it out there, and then they come down, they pick it up and all that, and like I said, and then, like I said, well, back in them days, dude, sometimes they even used to just take your ashes from your coal stove.
Yeah. But you know what? Nobody's going to anybody's backyard anymore.
Oh, no, you can't do now.
Not in the night. You might not come out of there.
That's right. You got pit bulls there, shotguns, landmines, and everything back there now. And then, like you said, the most of the thing is here, everybody's complaining about with the garbage thing over here, it's the landowner's responsibility, but 90% of them are Section 8s.
Yeah. And a lot of the property owners are out of town, too.
Right, and is Section 8 going to pay the garbage bill?
No, you're right there.
That's what I mean, where you're in a no-win situation. And like you said, it's the law. You can't keep the garbage out on the street. You have to pick it up for sanitational purposes and everything else.
But this council is, I know when I get seated in January, I'm gonna push for some kind of new way of approaching the problem. We can't do the status quo.
Well, what is this thing in the last couple of years over there where they're going to have your inspectors come in and check the rental places and all that, and then they're going to assess how much what you're going to pay for this rental? Why can't they just say, hey, you're going to pay the garbage taxes on this house? No, we ain't even talk about the water bills. Did they pay their water bills either?
Well, the water authority takes care of that. Here's the thing. Now, the water bills, they have the hook that they can actually shut it off. But they're not allowed by law to, even though the bills are together, if you don't pay your garbage, they can't shut off your water.
Well, yeah, like I said, I agree with you 100%. I don't want my neighbor's garbage sitting over, which has happened to me a couple times already. Yeah. The guy lived next door to me put his garbage in my garbage can.
I could believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched people, I watched one time how front of my house grew from 3 bags to 8 bags.
Yeah.
You see these cars going around in the middle of the night,
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't know what the situation is, but the way I recommend it, if you own the house, you're responsible for the garbage bill.
Yep, and that's the way it should be. And I think council's going to look for a way of making it tougher yet,
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm on low income, I'm on Social Security and everything, but I pay my garbage bill all the time.
Yeah, my mother does, and she her contribution to the garbage load is minimal.
Like I said, the part that it really gets me is that the problem you got with the college students. They ain't going to pay it, they don't care for it, and then they skip out of town. Well, if they move out of state and graduate, you can't get rid of them. You can't get paid, right?
Right, that's why they got to go after the property owner.
That's what I said. You get that property owner because rental, I remember that thing you said about the Rentals Association. They got to be certified now, and the house has to be checked. And if they ain't paying their bills, you shut the house down.
There we go. I think that's what council's looking at.
Well, that's it, Kaz. I know you're running overtime.
Well, at least you got on, right?
Oh, besides that, you got the wrong date on there.
We do?
No, that's the second time I did that to you.
Oh, you got... Hey, that's okay. I get, what do you call it? He punked me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Okay, guys, have a good day.
You too, and have a nice Christmas.
Yeah.
And with that, DJ, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on yet
Hopefully
again.
we'll see you next week.
Perhaps. I got nothing.
With that, we say adios.
Hasta la vista.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching the Taxpayers Hotline Show on Erie's own Government Access, Channel 9.